Hey, Horrible Horror is having a slumber party this weekend. Aaron, are you going to come over?
Heck yeah, I'm going to come over.
What are you going to bring to slumber party?
You know what I always like to bring? I always like to bring the beer.
All right, Aaron, bring the beer. Chris Samples, are you coming to slumber party?
I will be there, and I'll bring the Maui Wowie.
All right, we got the Maui Wow, we got the beer, and guess what, everybody? I am bringing the drill. We watched the Slumber Party Massacre. We watched it so you don't have to. So you know what that means. What is up, Moon Goons? Welcome to the next episode of Horrible Horror, the podcast where we watch the worst of the worst in horror movies. Movies so bad they're scary. I'm your host for this week, and every week, really, Marshall Hampton. I don't know why I said that.
Yeah.
Anyway, with me today is the family, the all-star cast, Mr. Aaron Southworth.
Hello.
And Mr. Chris Samples.
What up?
All right, and this week we are doing a 1980s classic, really, the Slumber Party Massacre. Now, before we jump in it, I do have one thing I want to announce, some news here for the show. Coming up in June, the weekend of June 17th, 18th, and 19th, those 2 days, Horrible Horror will be at the Contamination Horror and Sci-Fi Convention in St. Louis.
Really?
So if you guys are in the area and you want to come check out a horror sci-fi convention, come on down, check it out. It's down in Fenton, just a little south of St. Louis. Every you local guys, you know
Basically
where it is.
St. Louis.
But basically St. Louis. And come
Fenton,
say hi.
is that
We'll
by
be there
the,
for 3 days.
Is that by the Chrysler plant? No. That's Festus. No, it's Fenton.
I don't know.
Either way.
It's one, I don't know. But yeah, we're going to be there for 3 days. We'll be doing some live shows and talking to people and chit-chat. So if you want to come by, swing hi, say we will be there. We'll remind you about it later on. So jumping into the Slumber Party Massacre.
All right.
This was filmed during July of 1981, but was not released until November 12th of 82. It's actually kind of a short movie for its time. It's only 114 minutes long.
Right.
There's not a lot of fat.
No.
There's not a lot of fat in
This is the one that luckily
Yeah.
kind of jumps into it and gets going.
Absolutely.
It is a little hard to find nowadays, especially if you're looking for it on the internet, like to stream it. You can buy it on disc in the collection from Amazon, like which has like Slumber Party Massacre 1, 2, and 3, like one disc.
Wow, they made 3 of these movies.
Yeah, they made
Nice.
several. But if you want to stream it, best like I had with it was finding it on YouTube.
That's
you
where
can
I found it.
Chris found it. Aaron.
Same thing, YouTube, and God bless you, whoever put it up there, because titties galore.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if I was a 13-year-old trying to, mom had blockers up but didn't have blockers on YouTube,
Yeah.
this is what I'd be looking for.
There you go. Speaking of it, surprisingly for me, it was actually this was written and directed by women. It was written by Rita Mae Brown and directed by Amy Holden Jones.
Ah, that makes a lot of sense now.
I kind of, there's something, okay. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Right.
As far as the cast goes, there's really nothing much to say about him. There's like the only 2 people in my research that I found that have really anything that's worth saying is Pamela Roylance, who plays Coach Jana. She only has 41 credits for her name, but she's still working today in like bit parts. She did 15 episodes of Little House on the Prairie and was on Days of Our Lives.
Little House on the Prairie.
Little House on the Prairie.
I love Days.
And then the other one I guess a lot of horror fans will know or like is I might pronounce her name wrong, but Brink Stevens or Brinky Stevens. She has 156 credits to her name. She's still working today, but almost all of her credits are like just shitty B grade horror movies.
But
like,
she's
this
known
is,
as
like
like
her thing.
she's known as like a scream queen.
I guess she maybe is a scream queen.
That's what I found when I was kind of
Okay.
researching it. So
What a good kid.
And bring it back to connect to something we've done in the past. She was also in Bloody Mary 3D. She was not on screen. She was the voice of Elle's mom, who we heard in the conversation on the cell phone when the blonde was
Weird.
like, yeah.
Huh.
So she did a voice in that movie. Other than that, there's really nothing else to
There's one that I found, Robin Steele, who played Valerie or whatever.
I know her, but I looked at her. She only had like 9 credits, and like nothing was really stood out. But,
right.
I did also know people like in the comment section.
She was in a film though that you guys may be interested in.
Is it Sorority Slime-O-Rama Bowl or something like that?
Yeah, guys.
Yeah, that looks like right up the alley here.
I think the Three Amigos might have to watch that one again, and that's one we're all going to do together. What was it called again? Sorority Slime-A-Bowl-a-thon?
It's hold on, I got it right here. Sorority Slime Bowl. Sorority Babes in Slime Bowl-O-Rama.
Yes.
There you go.
I'm in.
No idea what it... Yeah.
No, either.
With that said, let's move on to the movie itself, the meat and potatoes. The movie opens on a really quiet suburban street, and it's just found like the local paper boy who's on his route, throwing his papers around.
That kid is hustling. I know how it opened. He's riding a shitty 1-speed bike up a hill with a box, the box full of papers, he's just working hard.
Coors Light, refreshing. Head for the mountains. Coors Light. All right.
Silver bullet never slow you down.
Silver bullet.
But this kid's working hard, and that kid grew up to be Mark Cuban. Nothing?
Seriously?
Oh.
Seriously?
Oh.
I thought you were serious for a second. I was like, are you for real?
I was like, holy shit, did Aaron actually do research for once? Holy fuck.
Well, I was just saying this kid's hustling, he's working hard, he's moving. And you guys were so quiet. I was like, man, that joke failed.
Well, I didn't know it was a joke. I thought you were real. Especially the scene where he's like pedaling up the hill. I was like, ugh, I felt bad for him. I was like, those fucking hills suck. Wow.
So anyway, Mark Cuban's throwing papers around, and one of the papers shows us a close-up of the papers that reads, "Mass murderer of 5, Russ Thorne escapes." And holy shit, it's Russ, because I think throughout my whole notes I call him Ross, but fuck it, it's Russ. And we cut to this teenage girl. She's waking up in bed. She gets ready for a day, and we get boobs. Like in the first 2 minutes of the movie, we're getting boobs already. Immediate boobs.
I don't know. This was something in the 80s they did. They just woke up, took off their clothes, looked in the mirror, put on a fresh pair, and they're ready.
That's exactly what she changes clothes, but she does not take a shower or change her underwear. For them. Like, what?
Nope. And this is something that I noticed in a lot of 80s movies. It's like they just wake up, put on something, and
head out the door.
Finger guns, and they're good.
Yeah. Pop that collar up and move. So we watch her as she kind of bags up several stuffed animals and various other small objects and toys. And I don't know. I got this as like, okay, it's a little late and like kind of sudden, but I guess it's they're sort of like, I'm an adult now. I'm putting away childish things. And
she woke up and was
just woke up one day, boom, I'm done with my Barbies and horses.
She's like, I'm 18 years old. I'm throwing all my cute shit away. Like it was just
except for that donated those to Salvation Army. Except for that puppy dog, she kept that stuffed puppy dog.
Yeah, she did longingly look at it. Yeah. But she's just throwing away all her shit.
Yep. And so outside, her parents, they're getting in the car and they're getting ready to leave on some trip. And we learn that the girl's name we've been seeing so far, her name's Trish, and she's one of the main characters of this movie. The mother reminds Trish to lock all the doors and windows. No, that's not foreshadowing. Yeah. And then the parents drive off and they're never seen again. And Trish heads off down the street towards, which we assume, I guess, is school.
After she throws away said bag.
Yeah, she throws away her bag, and then you see a hand grab the Barbie doll out of the trash. And
just about to bring that.
We also met the neighbor.
I don't know what member's name. I just call him neighbor guy.
Mr. Content.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Mr. Content.
I'm pretty sure that's his last name. Content. Like,
I think you're right, yeah.
Mr. Content.
First name disturbing.
Absolutely. He was weird.
So... we go to the local high school where we see these 2 guys. They're just walking and talking, 2 friends, and they're talking about some girl and trying to invite her to something. I don't know if it's prom or dance. It's just like high school boy small talk. And they spot this blonde girl up on a ladder doing like repairing phone lines or something. She's like the AT&T phone repair chick.
Southwestern Bell.
Yeah, back then.
Ma Bell. She's got the ill communication. And
look at this guy.
We learn that one of the guys is named Jeff. And I think out of the whole movie, we see these 2 guys later. Jeff's like the only one I know. Like,
I think the other one's name is Neil.
Is it Neil? Names of the guys in this movie are like, this
honestly,
doesn't fucking
names
matter.
of the girls are pretty much useless for me also.
Which is where it makes sense that I don't know. I'm not trying to be, but written and directed by females. You got a female like telephone.
Yeah, chick, well, I was gonna bring this up later, but let's talk about it right now because you just brought it up. Because I noticed that when I was watching, it's like you have the phone repair woman, you have a basketball coach, and a handyman carpenter, which stereotypically you all think of as male roles, right? But in this movie, they're all females.
Absolutely.
Right? So that I think that's definitely a sign. Like
there's other parts. Well, I'll bring them up while we get to it. That I also kind of realize. Well, it's very. It's kind of reverse gender role in a way.
Which isn't bad.
No, but it's definitely something. It was a theme I noticed throughout the movie.
And for
especially the 1980s,
yeah, I mean, for 82, that's really kind of progressive and different.
Maybe that's why they did that.
So the blonde girl ladder. Where was that? That's
smoking hot, by the way.
I agree, man. Woo, that ass.
Yeah, she had 80s ass.
Well, no, it was. She's been doing deadlifts or something.
No, I'm not saying she had badass, but I'm saying those. She's wearing the 80s jeans, like a high-waisted mom, like what
but still big old ass.
Yeah, it looks nice, beautiful. Nice ass. And so Jeff starts hitting on this blonde girl like right away. He's like, she's there doing her job, working at the school, repairing and she's like, hey, you ever date younger guys and blah blah blah, and I don't know.
She seems into it though.
She kind of does, which is
she's again a little bit back,
80s, I guess. Like, I don't know.
Like, horny?
Yeah, I guess what? So anyway, but Jeff's friend, I guess Neil,
Neil,
could be wrong with that, but we'll say Neil, kind of pulls him away and says, come on, we gotta go. And they
leave this lady alone. Yeah.
And so the blonde phone chick, she opens this door to her sliding work van, and she immediately gets like grabbed in and pulled inside by a mystery person as Jeff and Neil just kind of walk away.
Well, it's like they walk away and they hear the door slam and they turn around.
And they don't see her. She got into her car.
Did they actually turn around?
Because they did.
After the door slammed, they kind of look back and she's not there. So I guess they're just like,
and they don't see her, and they're like, whatever. And then
okay, I was probably right. No, I didn't know that extra. So, but then we see her like banging on like the rear windows of the van right before she's killed by this power drill.
And this is in the first like 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the first
5 minutes, really. Yeah. This movie just jumps right in. There's no time. And this takes us to basically the girls' basketball team's practice, which is just as bad as watching a WNBA game. It's fucking awful.
You stole my line.
But what I did like about it is in the 80s, they did not wear bras. So they're running up and down the court.
They wore bras.
Well,
it's not the 60s. They're burning bras.
I didn't see one bra.
It's some pretty poor basketball playing. I mean, we're talking awful. But I'm looking at him like, man, I don't think I could do any better because I'm awful at basketball. It's like I'm pretty good at sports, but basketball is just the worst one for me. So I'm like, at first I was a little critical. I'm like, shut up, Aaron, you can't do any better. I'm like, okay, that's kind of like my inner monologue.
Conscience. All right, okay,
you're right, James.
So, so we're doing this practice, and we meet this girl, Valerie, who is the new girl in school, but somehow she's already on the team, which makes no sense, because if she's the new girl and she transfers school mid-season, you're not just going to jump on the basketball team mid-season. That just makes no sense.
I didn't know if it was actually, like, was it basketball practice, or was it, like, I felt like it was gym class.
At first, I thought it was gym class, too, but no, it's the coach, basketball coach, and they're talking about, all right, pick up, don't slack on the defense. It's supposed to be a practice.
Oh, I see.
Which, again, I thought was weird because there's people, like, staying around watching them,
but this is kind of the gender role reversal again. It's like you have 3 dudes who are hanging around, like, watching the girls play, like, go get them, yeah. Where usually in movies, it's like the girls watching the boys practice.
The guys' basketball team.
The guys are watching the girls practice.
Absolutely.
Like, go Shirley or whoever, And I was kind of looking at it, I was like, huh. Well, that's different.
That's a good call. I missed that one, but now you've seen it. That
makes sense.
Good observation on that one. So, after the practice, first of all, so we meet Diane, or Diana, who's, I guess, supposed to be the so-called star of the team. She doesn't like Valerie because Valerie apparently made a layup. And she's like, don't you ever do that again. It's very similar to, like, Prom Night 3, where we had King Jock and Alex. She's like, Alex scores, like, don't you ever score a touchdown again.
Yeah. How dare you be good.
Yeah. So, after practice, which only seems to last 2 minutes, and it ended after each side made a layup, the girls hit the showers. And this is basically just a cornucopia of ass and titties.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It is just ass and titties. Ass and titties.
Soapy, wet asses and boobies.
I mean, this is like an eighth grader's like dream movie. Right.
Absolutely.
This is like just
They have apparently only one bar of soap.
No, yeah,
they have to share a bar of soap. Like, what is that?
Passing that thing around.
Right?
I'd hate to be that girl who gets it last. Like,
yeah, it's full of pubes. And...
it's like mammal soap.
So, during their shower, they're all talking about some part. You know, they're talking about the sleepover, the party tonight, and who's going, who's not going.
Right.
So after the showers, they're getting dressed in the locker room, and they're still talking about party and who to invite. And a few of the girls are trying to convince Diane to invite Valerie, but Diane just won't have it. She's like, no, I don't want her to come in, blah, blah, blah. Which is weird because it's not
Trish's
even
party.
at her house.
Yeah.
Exactly. It turns out it's at Trish's house. So Trish should have final say in who comes to her house, but Diane's like, fuck it, I don't want that bitch there.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like, it's not your party. Like, that's so weird.
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
Well, still, I mean, if you're having a party and you're like, I want to invite so-and-so, and I had major beef with them, I'd be like, dude, don't do it. I can see it. You know.
But then again, I mean, I'm not trying to say that I understand the psyche of a woman.
They are catty.
Well,
we know that.
yes. But, you know, I mean, you have friends and like, well, come on, let's just invite her. You know, she's like, nah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's really weird. So meanwhile, they're Valerie overhears everything because she's just like right around the corner in her locker in the locker room, and then Trish says like, hey, you know what? You know, we're gonna invite you to come. I want you to come. And Valerie's like, no, I'm not gonna come in because I have homework to do. So she denies the invitation.
Go ahead.
No, if you have something to say it.
No, the one that had homework to do was Linda.
No, they both have homework, I thought, but
this is when they invite Valerie, and Valerie's like, I got to study.
Yeah, that's what it's like. Study
So then the group leaves together.
We're coming up with that. And so after school, a group of the boys and girls are heading home. Linda says she has to go back for her book or something, and we see someone watching her head back into school from the van's like side mirror. And again, I had a quick flashback to Halloween because Linda, the character, I believe, I could be wrong, I should know this, but I believe Linda at one point had to... No, wait, never mind. That was Lori who forgot a book at school. Never mind. I was thinking Linda in Halloween had to go back and get a book, too. But and they left high school.
I love this scene. This scene right here like kind of got me all in.
It did? Movie. So Linda goes and gets her book from the locker, but I thought it was weird because
Before
it's not
that, though.
Okay, you have something?
All right. Linda runs and goes back to the gym to get her locker. And the group keeps walking.
Yes.
They walk past the van with the creepy guy.
Yeah.
And they walk past this dumpster. And in the dumpster is the body of the telephone chick.
Yeah.
None of them see it.
How did I
None of them
miss
realize
that?
it.
With the drill hole in her forehead.
In her fucking forehead, yeah.
How did you miss that?
How did I miss that?
I don't know.
I totally missed that. My only thing is I was probably typing my notes out
It's
at
awesome
that time.
because the scene is up. It's like looking down on all these kids, and there's like 8 kids that walk past this dumpster, and then you see the dumpster with the body inside it and everything. It's like, man, the cinematography in this movie, I think, is just fucking fantastic.
It's not bad.
Wow, I'm really upset I missed that scene because I had to have been like looking down, typing my notes out during that quick dumpster check because I totally missed that.
Hey, I'm happy to help.
Thank you. So Linda's inside. She gets her book from her locker, but I found it weird that it's not like the main like hallway locker you see in every high school. Like in the she goes to like the gym room, like the gym locker room, and gets her book out of like a little itty bitty like YMCA locker.
Well, they were all just there, which is weird too because Linda was saying earlier that she had to study for a test. Why would she leave that book?
Yeah, like
she's carrying all these other books, but she left that one book.
Yeah, and then so once she gets the book, she finds that the doors have been locked behind her, and so she can't get out. And again, reaches on all the books she was carrying. I saw like she has no book bag, which I thought was really weird because she's carrying like 3 giant textbooks and one of the old school like 1980s like gigantic trapper keepers. I mean, she looks like she's like hauling like a pack mule with all this stuff on her, and it's like, just get a fucking backpack for Christ's sake. So
it's not cool, Marshall.
Oh, right. Okay.
Come on, Marshall.
You're right. Backpacks aren't cool. I don't know. I thought one strap. You always had one strap. Yeah, that was the way to do it.
Did you have a JanSport?
I did not have a JanSport.
I had the East
Pack.
Yeah, and I always wore it low.
Oh yeah, you couldn't wear it too high. You had a one strap and it had to be like hanging down by. If it was
like
hitting the back of your knees when you were walking, you were a dork. You weren't cool.
It was both straps. It was just low.
Yeah. Even if you did low, if it was like smacking your ass or something like when you're walking, you were not.
I still
cool.
wear my backpack low.
Low rider. Anyway, so Linda's struggling. She's struggling to get the doors open, and we see a man walk up behind her down a hallway. And as he approaches her, he lifts a power drill, this huge ass power drill, not like the little thing, like this thing has like a 2-foot long drill bit, and he turns it on, and he brings it down on Linda. The drill cuts into her arm. She screams and she runs away.
Right. Can we talk for a second about this drill?
Of course we can. Let's talk about the drill.
All right. This is obviously 1982.
Yes.
There is no way in hell.
Are you going to say that there's no way in hell this thing would have power?
Yeah. Well, there's no way that this is like a battery-powered drill.
Thank you. I have major problems with that. Yes.
Okay. I mean, I know what they're trying to do, and it's a great effect, but it really killed me through this whole movie. I was like, seriously, this motherfucker has to be plugged in.
Exactly.
Does this guy have like a 2,000-foot like extension cord?
Yeah, like a mile-long extension cord.
We run into that problem later. But yeah, I mean, so this scene, when he comes up to... He's coming up behind. He's making noise. He's walking the hall. Ka-chunk, ka-chunk, ka-chunk. He's not trying to be sneaky.
No, he's got these giant boots on.
And so I'm thinking, okay, this guy's being so obvious. I'm thinking this is going to be my first false scare. This isn't the killer. This is the janitor. Because we've never seen this guy. Well, all we've seen is his arm. So I'm like, it's got to be the janitor. He's going to go. It's going to be our false scare. She's going to go, eek. And he's going to go, let me out. Well, I'll help you out, little lady. You know. Right. But no, it's just bam. It's now, again.
Right there.
Right here. And I was like, I was surprised by the obviousness of it, I guess.
Yeah, I just like Chris brought up the fact is like, back in the 80s, there's no way that kind of drill would have been battery powered, or even gas powered. If it was gas powered,
this scene is also really pretty good too, because he comes down on her and he gets her in the shoulder.
He gets in like the arm, like the upper
so he
bicep.
Completely misses. She runs. There's a good chase scene.
Yeah,
through some dark corridors.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Okay, let's go back to that. She runs and she enters the locker room again. She goes back to the locker room and she ends up hiding like in the shower room while the killer is like stalking up and down the aisle of all the lockers. And he enters the shower room looking for Linda, but he doesn't see her right. He's like, okay, I don't see her because she's hiding behind like this little like counter
under a desk
or something. And so he leaves. But unfortunately, he does spot the giant pool of blood that's leaking out from underneath the door that Linda's hiding behind. And he takes the drill and he just drills through the door. Linda screams, and the camera cuts away to the killer running out of the school and towards the van.
Yeah, we just gotta assume she's dead.
Which was an interesting fact that this is really the first time in like slasher movie history that I can remember. You know, at this point, we had Halloween, Friday the 13th had been released, a few other slashers, but this is the first time I've ever seen like the killer like actually legit like running from the crime scene, like like Michael and James don't give a shit. They just walk like. I'm just walking out.
Maybe he was thinking, hey, I got to catch up with these other kids.
There you go.
They got a head start.
Yeah.
Shit, I'm parked in the handicap spot. I don't get towed.
I'm double parked.
Double parked, yeah. Anyway, so after that, we see Trish getting dropped off at her house by some guy on a crappy motorcycle who we never see again. And next door, we see Valerie coming home too. So Trish and Valerie end up live right next door to each other. Yeah. And we cut to the van following Diane as she walks home. And the driver gets out. He reaches out for her when she stops to bend over for something. And Diane just judo throws this guy to the ground.
She sure does.
And it turns out just to be, I think his name's John, her boyfriend.
John Miner.
There you go.
Doesn't he look like, he kind of reminds me of the dude from Mask? He looks like a sloth type of...
Rocky?
Yeah, right.
Oh, that man.
I mean, he's tall, he's big, his face is like square like that. I mean, he doesn't have the long hair, but I was like, seriously, this dude has this chick?
That's
I could not put it together. I was like, wow. He must also have a giant, I don't know.
He's got a giant drill in his pants.
The girls, they talk about that later. They talk about what do they see? What does she see in him? Right. They even mention it.
So they chit-chat a bit, and then they kiss before they go to separate ways.
So that's our first false scare.
Yeah.
And now we see...
I also liked like the first person kind of... I love the suspense of this movie in a way, but... Sorry, go ahead.
No, never. But you don't have to apologize here, Chris. This is a safe zone. This is a safe.
I'm interrupting.
So we see
Chris.
Coach...
I feel threatened by your interrupting. I think you have to leave.
I feel.
All right, I'm out. Peace.
I feel that you gotta go. So Coach, we see the basketball coach arrive home, and she gets to her front door, And as she's fumbling with her keys, a drill comes right through the door, nearly gets her in the face. Right in the face. And the door opens, and it's just this carpenter woman named Pam, who was basically installing a new peephole in the coach's front door.
Right. And also mentioned that her bookshelves will be in next week.
And there you go.
So, did she ever finish the work?
No.
Well,
yeah, actually,
we don't know.
I thought that problem too.
Yeah, she drilled.
And then when she shut the door, you saw the peephole, which I didn't actually see her put it in, but maybe she did.
Yeah,
she's just that good. She's that fast.
That fucking good.
So, we learn Coach's name is Jana at this point, Coach Jana, and she asks if the phone repair person has been here yet, and Pam, the handy carpenter, says, "Oh yeah, I saw the van across the street." So there's a hint that again, it's drawn back to the killer in the van earlier.
Right.
Pam leaves, and just the coach goes about her business. It doesn't matter. We go back to Trish, who's on the phone, and she hears a noise, and of course she goes to check it out, thinking that there's someone at the door, but there's no one there. She sits down and plays a little ditty on the piano.
This part bothers me.
Okay.
Strange.
Why does this bother you?
She's on the phone.
Okay.
And she's on the phone with Diane, actually.
Okay.
I don't really want boys over here. My mom will kill me, yada, yada. Oh, wait, I think someone's at the door. I gotta go. So she gets up, and she goes to the door. The door's wide the fuck open. She's looking around. She's like, okay. I think I'll play the piano. I'm going to sit down and just start.
When inspiration hits, I guess.
I guess.
So at that point, the camera pans over from her and to the other side of the wall, and we see someone is coming down the stairs.
Up the stairs.
Down the stairs.
Okay.
I don't know. I can't solve
it. It doesn't make sense to go upstairs, but all right. So Trish hears this, and she runs for the door, but she gets grabbed from behind, and this is another false scare, as it turns out to be her neighbor, who says, I was just worried about you because I saw the door was open and nobody's home, so I came in and checked the thing.
Yeah, Mr. Content just coming in and checking out the house.
So
you just turned 18. I just saw you throw away all your stuffed animals.
Absolutely.
So you're a woman now.
I think you're a woman now.
You're a woman now. And so we go back.
Your parents are gone.
So kind of what I was thinking. I don't know.
Now it's dirty content.
Right. Is this a horror movie or is it a porn film?
That's how the porn starts. Slumber Party Bukkake. That's what it is.
Oh, damn, he went there. He went right there.
Anyway, so we go back to Coach Jana, who thinks that she's now hearing something in her house. So she starts searching around. She's here scratching from coming from her closet. And when she opens this door, anyone want to take a guess at what happens here?
Well, it's a great scene before that. Like she's making dinner or whatever, and she knocks over a glass.
Yeah, it's setting it up. It's good suspense, but she hears scratching. She opens the door.
Yeah. I'll give you 3 guesses of what happens here.
Was it the killer?
No.
It's a leprechaun.
Oh shit! No, I would love that though.
Was it a cat for some reason on the second shelf?
It was a cat. It was a cat on the second shelf. Yeah, they busted out that old chestnut right there.
With horror movies and cats always jumping out of nowhere.
How did it get on the second shelf in the first place? Like the handy woman, the carpenter, shove the cat in the closet, get your ass in there and just lock it in.
I have got to admit though, they must have had that cat trained, because as soon as it opened, he was squatting down like, "Yeah, motherfucker," and jumped right out.
He was fucking like Nyquist and like fucking.
Or else they actually locked the cat in the closet for like 3 hours.
Because as soon as that door opened, he's whoosh, he jumps right out
like a man of war Nyquist at the horse's gate, like boom, gone.
Trained cat, yeah.
So it cuts again to Jeff and his friend. I think we said it's Neil. They're walking down the street at night. Oh, it's now night, and they're pushing their bikes alongside them instead of riding them. Like, why don't you just ride
That's
the
what
bikes?
I was wondering too. Like, why are we pushing our bikes?
Yeah,
why are we not riding bikes?
Exactly. I thought the same thing. And Jeff throws out the idea that, hey, let's go scare the girls tonight at the slumber party, blah, blah, blah. And we see him walk right past the same telephone repair van that we saw earlier. So at this point, we see 2 other girls now show up at Trish's house for a sleepover. And it took me forever to get their names, but
Kimberly and Jackie.
Yeah, it's Kim and Jackie. And I believe one of them brought the beer, which is like a 6-pack, And then the other one pulls, Kim, the blonde girl, pulls like a giant bag of weed.
Well, Kim says that her brother scored her the 6-pack.
Yes.
Which was Michelob. Thank you.
Old bottle.
The old, yeah,
curvy style.
I knew it as soon as I saw it. I was like, those are Michelobs.
Shout out to Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis. No, I don't.
I miss those bottles.
I do. I like the curvy Michelob.
Yeah, there's something nice about having like a little different shape to the old Michelob bottle.
I feel fancy.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes. And the paper that came up over the twist top too. You know,
it's like that foil on top.
It's like wine. You have to like peel away like wine or champagne. You know, you peel away the aluminum foil at the top.
I don't know if I found that fancy.
I don't know. Yeah, right. But
I'm just fuck you guys.
Sorry, Mark.
So anyway, so we have a 6-pack of beer and we have a giant bag of Maui Wowie weed. And
Kimberly's talking about it, and Trish is like, "Shut the fuck up."
That's because creepy neighbor's coming in behind her, and he's like, "Oh, don't worry, girls, I won't tell the parents."
Yeah, she whips out this bag of weed, and he just comes over and just goes,
starts sniffing it.
Yeah, he does.
He just like he's in for it.
He's like, "I want you girls to get stoned and drunk because I'm coming back later, and we're going."
Well, it's kind of weird is that he's like, "I promise not to tell your parents.
If you promise not to tell
them that I was in your house." Yeah, like, what?
That's like what Melissa's like. Don't tell your parents that I touched you in a private spot.
Right, exactly. That's what I kind of thought.
Can you keep a secret?
X-rated content.
Oh, God. Yeah, he's creepy. But at the same time, he's really nice.
He's a cool neighbor.
Yeah. So anyway, he leaves. He leaves the house at this point. And we just said he won't tell the parents on him. And so meanwhile, Valerie is making Kool-Aid for her younger sister as the two of them talk in their kitchen. And
she does it old school style.
Right.
Opens the package and dumps in a shit ton of sugar.
Yeah, I love it. Like that.
And
is
the package
that
she opens up is not like the little packages you see. It's like the big ass package of fucking Kool-Aid, and she just opens that sugar bag and just starts dumping.
If you didn't live through the '80s, you might not know what we're talking about. But if you '80s people, you goddamn well know what we're talking about when it comes to Kool-Aid. So back at the party, the three girls are smoking their Maui Wowie. And they hear some what I think is supposed to be glass breaking. And then they go to the kitchen and they find out that the coffee, it is glass breaking. Okay, here's my notes. Because the coffee pot pan was sitting on the burner too long and the glass shattered.
Is that a false scare?
Okay. Kind of.
Well,
false suspense, maybe.
All right.
And now this time Diane shows up to the party. So now all four of them are at the party.
Which she does like a weird thing, like she comes up to the window and like scares them. So that's kind of a false scare.
Yeah, there you go. And I should put at this point, I put a little asterisk in my notes here that from this point on, and even the last 10 minutes of the movie that I've been trying to describe, it just jumps back and forth between Trish's house and the party and Valerie's house. It's just like really fast cuts.
Yeah.
So it can get a little hard to try to keep up and write down some of these things. So some scenes I might be skipping over just because they don't really matter or they're just going so fast.
Mm-hmm.
So Valerie and her sister Courtney, they hear a noise coming from out back, and Valerie goes to check it out because they're like, "Oh, the dog gone to the trash can again." While the sister sneaks upstairs and starts rummaging through what is Valerie's bedroom, where she finds a Playgirl magazine with Sylvester Stallone on the cover.
Hey, yo, Courtney.
Hey, Adrian.
You want to see my Demolition Man?
I was going to say Judge Dredd.
Oh! I think that's better.
I'm trying to come up with a testicular cancer joke with Rocky testicles, but I can't make it. But anyway, so she takes the Playgirl and she leaves. Outside, Valerie cleans up the knockdown of her trash can, and she notices like this swing set like in the backyard, like just moving in the wind, and she's like, "Oh my god, the swing set's moving!" And it's like it scares her to death apparently because she like takes off running.
Was that a false scare?
I mean, I guess to the viewer, it's supposed to be like, "Oh, somebody might have been there," but
well, she gets scared and she runs away.
Yeah,
so I guess it wasn't false. She was actually scared.
In my opinion, I mean, it couldn't have been the wind, right? I mean,
that would be a lot of wind because it's not like a low swing; it's like a giant metal glider swing.
Yeah, and nothing else, like no trees are rustling, anything.
Yeah.
Like that, yeah.
So,
all right.
So she rushes back to her, and at this point, it shows the two guys, Jeff and Neil, sneaking around outside Trisha's house, spying on the girls through a window as they change.
Where were these
clothes.
houses when I was a kid?
Exactly.
Yeah, because this scene...
I never had girls changing clothes like right in front of an open window and just showing tits and ass to the whole neighborhood.
So they're changing from their everyday clothes into sleep clothes.
Yeah,
right.
like they're all tank tops and
they're
shorts.
all in the living room together.
In the living room, yeah.
All just stripping naked, just talking about bullshit and getting nudies.
Yep.
And, yeah.
To be a fly on the wall at a slumber party and just see how girls actually interact.
Which
I mean,
is
surprising
because this was written by
women.
Grin.
Yeah.
And we all know that this shit doesn't happen at slumber parties, but
it's like the young.
Well, it's like we always jerk off at each other's slumber parties, right?
Yeah. We told you that, right?
Wait,
what?
I
mean, nothing. Never mind. Shut up, guys.
Told you that. No, that's cool.
That's why we always sneak up to each other and put our testicles on each other's foreheads while we're sleeping, right?
Yeah, we secretly teabag everybody at night.
Right?
Yeah,
it's common knowledge, right?
Glad I never went to any of your sleepovers.
Chris, you missed out on some good times. Still got the taste of Aaron's balls in my mouth.
Fantastic.
So Trish orders a pizza for the party while Diane goes outside to get firewood, which I thought was really weird because, like, why are they getting firewood? It's not the winter time. It's just an excuse.
That's what I'm saying. It's obviously it's Venice, California.
Yeah. It is.
They're wearing the shortest of shorts.
Yeah.
And
or no
tank
shorts.
tops. Yeah.
Uh-huh. But it's getting chilly.
So
let's build a fire.
So she goes out to get firewood, and we see someone standing in the shadows watching her, holding a meat cleaver.
Yeah.
And Diane is going through the firewood. She gets grossed out because she comes across a snail.
Uh-huh.
Excuse me. Goddamn beard. And we see the meat cleaver rise up behind her, and it comes slashing down her, but instead of her, it hits a snail.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out to be creepy neighbor again.
Mr. Content.
Who says he was out snail hunting, and that using a meat cleaver is the best way to kill them.
Uh-huh.
This is the funniest thing is that Diane has no reaction to this.
No.
So this guy comes up behind her with a meat cleaver and fucking massacres a snail.
Yeah.
Like and a fucking psycho, and she just goes, "Hi, Mr. Content."
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh,
like, this is old hat. Everybody knows crazy Mr. Content. Everybody knows Mr. Content."
She's like, "Are you out snail hunting?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, my dad does the same thing."
Yeah.
Like,
he says pesticides are harmful for the environment.
How about this
and
note? That,
he says it's not organic.
This is hippy dippy in 1982.
1982,
No,
California was way above the
way ahead of its time.
Yeah, big time.
Now,
Absolutely.
maybe I am wrong in this assumption, and correct me if I am, but I'm still thinking a meat cleaver to a snail is way over the top.
Bonkers.
And it makes you,
well, according to Mr. Content, that's the best way to do it.
Salt on them? Because aren't they like leeches or slugs or something?
We had a neighbor that used to put those pie pans and pour beer in them.
Yeah.
Because beer, is like the salt.
Yeah.
They're attracted to the...
Yeah. And they come in there and they die.
Yeah.
I mean, pour some salt on the snails instead of going around the fucking meat cleaver in the shadows at night looking like a goddamn fucking madman.
He wants to feel like a man.
Well, I'm pretty sure Mr. Content had his own Maui Wowie at the house.
You know what? Fuck that salt. Give me that meat cleaver. I'm
right.
going out.
Yeah.
So,
stoned as fuck. I'm going to go kill some snails.
So, yeah, Mr. Content, he leaves. He goes back to killing snails in his own garden.
He's counting them down. I got 53.
Yeah.
He's counting them down.
He
like
had 54.
Yeah.
Coming
he's
up
on
to 55.
Snail genocide right now is what he's doing.
Coming up to 55, he
and
meets
basically he gets killed from behind via a giant drill through the neck, and that's
kinda
what
unseen.
you see. Yeah,
It's
it's
like-
really kind of comes out of nowhere.
He's gonna kill a snail and then pow.
Yep.
Drill to the neck.
He's bragging. He's like 55. Done.
And inside the girls, they're reading their horoscopes from the newspaper, and Trish gets up to close the window and spots the man watching her in the shadows. And she looks away to ask Diane if she closed the garage door when she came in. And when she looks back, she sees the doll that she threw away, or one of the Barbie dolls she threw away earlier, pressed up against the window, covered in blood. So, like, that's kind of cool. I mean, that's pretty fucking creepy.
It's creepy.
That's
I
creepy.
thought so too.
That's a nice touch. So Trish and Diane go off to check out the garage and make sure the garage door is all closed. And it is closed, but it wasn't locked. So Trish locks it. And after they leave...
We all know that Diane did not shut the garage door.
Yes. And after they leave, we see a shadowy figure kind of pop up inside the garage. So he's in the house, or in the garage anyway, which is a detached garage to set the scene. It's not attached.
It was weird. It was hard to tell.
Yeah, it's also too, but it's a detached garage, and
you have to go through the yard to the garage.
Exactly.
Right.
So,
past the pool.
Valerie then back to Valerie. She catches her sister reading the Playgirl, and they banter back and forth, having like little sister banter.
Chick says something like that. Just don't tear the centerfolds out this time.
Yeah. And during this, it's obviously like visually obvious to me that Courtney is supposed to be like I'm around 16. But from here on out, like especially this scene, she acts like she's 12 or younger.
Right. She's like eating a lot.
Just the way the words she uses and the way she's sucking and eating this gigantic lollipop,
which makes her appear younger.
Yeah, and she's like whining. She's whining like an 8-year-old, and not like a 16-year-old.
Well, and Valerie says something at this point too, like you've been jerking off guys since 5th grade, or
jerking
something
off
like
to guys since the 5th grade.
Jerking off 2 guys. She's not going
guys.
around. She's not going around giving handies to everybody in the neighborhood.
No, I thought it was the other way around. I'm glad you cleared that up because I was like, really? She's been jerking off guys the 5th grade? What the fuck? Oh, jerking off 2 guys. Okay. Wait. Wow. That's woo. Wow.
So seriously. Back to the party. Trish and 2 of the other girls. They're are Kim and Jackie are eavesdropping on Diane's phone conversation. The power goes out, and the 3 of them head out to the garage to find the fuse box, where Diane sneaks up on them and scares them with another false scare.
So, does anybody else think that fuse box was tiny?
Yeah,
it was very small. For
it
the
was
house.
very small.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know how fuses work because that's obsolete now.
Yeah, it was really weird.
Yeah, it was like 8 fuses there for that
whole
house,
fucking house,
plus the pool,
2 stories, pool, and garage. Yeah. So anyway, all 4 of them, they end up going out to the garage where they notice that none of the fuses are blown, but 2 of them are a bit missing. And this is where they get scared again, where they get started when they see Jeff and Neil hiding in the shadows, trying to scare them. And basically the boys just give them back the fuses.
Yeah, the one dude is like a giant pussy. Sorry, here's your fuses back. And like,
one of them gets rocked. Don't they punch him in the face?
Yeah.
So,
but it's the other guy, like, yeah.
So back to Valerie, who is studying and doing homework and whatnot, and once again she hears the sounds of the trash cans being tipped over out back. She goes outside to take care of it, and this time she gets grabbed by her sister Courtney, trying to scare her. So another false scare. So I've lost count of how many false scares we've had already.
Yeah. But I love I really like the suspense of the movie. I don't know. I love these, like...
The thing that actually works about these false scares is right off the bat, your first 2 kills were so fast. It's like, bam, bam.
Right.
So then... You don't know when the next one can just fucking
Absolutely.
happen.
That's a good point. Absolutely. If you look at it that way, because I didn't really stop and think about that from that perspective, but it does help. It really does kind of. Because I would say nowadays, if there was a more modern movie, because everything takes so long to get into, it seems like all the false scares leading up to the thing is just like it's a false scare.
Well, there was like another one too
it's the formula,
that we kind of glossed over when Diane came back in with the wood. Like you see the 3 girls like sitting there smoking a joint. And then all of a sudden the
crash of the wood.
The wood, yeah, So I mean, I don't know. I thought it
was all right.
So
well done.
We cut to Diane's boyfriend sitting in his car, and he's like outside the house honking for Diane to come out,
like a douchebag.
Yeah, just being an ass. Yeah. And she lets him into the garage, but the camera specifically shows her not locking the door behind her.
Right.
And we go back to Valerie and Courtney doing sisterly bonding, and Courtney's like, hey, let's crash the party next door. And Diane and her man, they're making out in the car, and everybody else is in the kitchen. We see some boobs.
Mm-hmm.
Diane gets out, heads back inside to tell the rest that she's going to go grab some beer with her man, and she'll be back.
They're like, whatever, whore.
Yeah, they kind of read it there. She's like, yeah, I'm gonna go grab some beer, and then they're just, she kind of looks at her like, hey, we're making daiquiris right now.
He wants beer,
and it's like, no, she wants to go grab some beer. It's okay, you don't have to ask permission. Kind of like, hint, go get fucked.
Yeah, you don't need permission to get fucked in the car. So she gets back in the car and she goes to kiss him, and his head just falls off his like neck and shoulders. Awesome. She screams. She starts honking the horn, which I thought was actually thought was kind of a smart move. Like alert,
absolutely.
That's a nice
but for
thing.
Some reason, nobody hears it
because they can't hear it because the blender is too loud. They can't hear a car honking over a blender making strawberry daiquiris.
Right.
I wish you could have seen the way Marshall did that. He's like, strawberry daggers. Like moving his hands up and down with each syllable. It was awesome. He looked like an excited girl.
So, Russ, at here point I started calling him Ross, but Russ Thorne, he appears in front of the car. He breaks the window, drags Diane out, and kills her up against the wall with his power drill. Mm-hmm. Back to Trish and the two other guys, Jeff and Neil. They're talking, and she's asking about the Barbie down the window. Like, was that you guys? And they're like, no, I don't know. I think that was not us.
He didn't really ask. Like, it was just mentioned in passing.
Yeah, but they had said
and the
it
boys
wasn't
were
that.
like, "What Barbie doll?" And then all of a sudden, the doorbell rings.
Yeah,
but this scene also just really quick. Another gender role flip. When they're in the kitchen making daiquiris, the girls are talking about the game.
Baseball.
There's like, hey,
they're trying to figure out the score of the game.
Who got that winning run? And they're like, oh, well, Savage hit the home run, and then Smith came
they're
in.
talking about not
absolutely.
who scored the 6 runs. How did the 6 runs get? You're right.
Yeah,
but they're talking about stats and getting done.
Yeah, and
something
players
women
and
typically
don't
do.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Which that's another point. I thought it was funny because talking about game, like they play basketball. So I thought, but they're actually at this point talking baseball, which I was like, oh, they're talking not basketball.
I noticed that too. I was like, damn.
So the doorbell rings and the two guys go to pay for the pizza. Well, Kim calls their coach on the phone because they want to ask the coach, hey, where'd those 6 runs come from?
Right.
In last night's ball game. And when they open the front door, there stands the pizza boy whose eyes have both been drilled out.
Yeah.
And he's standing there holding the pizza with no eyes, bloody eye sockets, and he falls into the house dead. And the coach hears the girl screaming over the phone, but the line goes dead. And Trish tries to call for help, but Russ cuts the phone lines from the outside.
Yeah.
The coach calls Valerie now to ask her what's going on. Valerie's like, oh, yeah, I heard some screaming. So coach's like, okay, well, I'm going to come over and check it out. You stay put.
Well, she asked Valerie if she can go over there, and Valerie's like, I don't really want to.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Is that what happened? All right.
Because she was invited, but she knows that.
Yeah,
either
way.
It
was like a pity invite.
The
almost.
caddy.
So so back to the pizza guy. When they ask, how much, they don't open the door. They ask through the door, how much is it? And he goes, 6 so far. Does that mean 6 kills?
I believe so.
Did he say so far?
He said 6 so far. So you have Southwestern Bell telephone lady. You have
Linda.
Uh-huh. You have Mr. Content.
I got 4
you
and
have
5.
the 2 people in the car.
Mm-hmm.
I had
Diane
6
and
I
John.
had 6 at the pizza guy.
Oh, that's right. Pizza guy would make 6.
I had 6 at the pizza guy. Yeah.
I'd make 6.
You guys are geniuses because
Awesome.
I wasn't
didn't
keeping
catch
count of that.
6 so far. I couldn't hear what he was saying.
Yeah,
I heard
so
6. I didn't hear
Yeah.
the so far part. I just heard 6. I'm like,
okay, so he killed the pizza guy, but the pizza guy is like, what is he, like perfect rigor mortis until the door's opened?
Exactly.
And then he falls.
Who knows? Who knows how long he had the pizza guy? I don't know.
I had major issues with that too because there's the time between then hey, how much, and they hear 6. Like, okay,
they're taking a while to get all the money.
So either the pizza guy was alive at that point, or
I doubt it.
I doubt too. But if he wasn't, they would have heard him drilling. I would think the drill going off on the other side of the door. And how does a dead man stand up that long by himself?
It's just like the cat in the door.
Like even if you leaned him up against the door, waiting for him to open,
he wouldn't be holding the pie.
He wouldn't be holding. Yeah, there's a lot of things wrong with that scene, but
I think we're nitpicking at this.
I think we are too. But still.
Anyway,
that's what we do.
It's what we do.
I guess so. Yes.
So back to Courtney, who's now pouting about Valerie not letting her go over to the party. And at Trish's house, they just like, oh my God, all right, let's split up. Let's go around the house and close up all the windows and close the curtains. And Jeff and his friend Neil are talking about making a run for help and splitting up because at least that way one of them makes it.
And at this point, actually, the boys are really fucking pussies about it. I mean,
I don't know, man. They kind of sack up and they're like, one of us will make it for sure.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I think that's pretty ballsy.
I kind of agree with Aaron on that one. Like,
if killers are in the house and there's a good chance, it's like you go this way, I'll go that way. If one of us is going to make it, we'll at least be able to save the chicks. That's kind of valiant.
I'm on your side with this one, Aaron. I felt the same thing.
Okay. I felt like they were being like, I don't know. They decided to do it, but then when it
came
down to do it,
they are a little nervous. Like, come on, I'm not going to blame a guy for being nervous about blindly around.
I wish I had stuck in Cub Scouts. I wish I had stuck in Cub Scouts so I knew how to use one of these things.
Yeah, okay,
holding a knife. I mean,
okay, yeah.
Pointing guns into the bad guy.
Right,
right, easy, yeah.
right.
It's like the oldest weapon in the world next to a fucking bone.
Absolutely. I don't know. I'm just saying.
That's a good point. I'll give you that one.
So Trish gives Jeff, I think, a knife, and she's actually trying to talk him. I was like, no, you don't need to do this. And one of the guys, one's going out the front door, the other's going out the back door through the garage. And the two guys, they're like, you ready? Yeah, you ready? Yeah. I'm like, all right. They open the doors, boom, out they go. And the one that went to the garage, I think, is Jeff, and he does not fare very well.
No.
He doesn't make it out of the fucking garage.
No. Because he comes in the garage, and the body of Diane swings down from the rafters, hanging in front of him. We've seen that done so many times before.
And he screams like a little bitch.
He does. Yeah. And this is when he gets drilled through the chest from behind by Russ. And meanwhile, the other guy... He makes it to Valerie's house, and he's banging on the door, but she ignores it for a while.
Dude, he's banging like you would bang. So please, God, open the door. He's freaking out. And she's just sitting there like, motherfucker.
Well, she is in apparently she's in like a back room, like a sunroom or whatever, like watching TV.
You can hear it. You can see her watching the TV.
She's watching
and she's watching like a horror movie from the 50s or 60s. But it's just this. You can hear it. You can hear him screaming and begging. And she even glances over towards the sound.
But she could also think, okay, it's these guys. They're just fucking around with me because she already thinks like they don't like me and they're just fucking around. But
possibly
he's screaming like a fucking. They haven't interacted with her in one way, shape, or form.
That's true.
And he's screaming like someone's going to kill him. Right. Because guess what? Someone's going to fucking kill him.
Right. So again, I had another Halloween flashback because it reminded me of the scene where Lori is banging on the door to get Tommy to wake her up and let her in the locked door while Michael's stalking up behind her. Just me. I don't know if anybody else will get that from this movie, but I did. And so Russ closes in, and Neil, I guess it is, turns to attack Ross with a knife, but he just gets bitch slapped around. He gets tossed to the ground immediately. Valerie opens the door, looks outside, or gets to the door, looks outside, sees nothing, and just walks away. And I call major bullshit on this.
Right.
Because there's no way you would not see them on the front yard right there.
Or hear them.
Or hear the struggling.
Or hear them struggling.
And isn't this this is the kill where the Russ actually uses the knife as opposed to the drill?
Yeah. So Ross, whatever fucking name is. He stabs the bad guy, killer. He stabs the guy to death in the front yard and then drags the body away and carries it into the garage, where he tries to put the body in the trunk of the car, but it's already filled with 4 other bodies. So he's
counting. He's counting. He's like 1, 2, 3, 4, and he actually says something like "shit."
Yeah,
because the Jeff guy like crawls away. Or something.
Now exactly, because we cut to Jeff, who is apparently still alive, and he's crawling like along the side of the pool to get to the back door. And Trish, Kim, and Jackie, they're huddled around the fire, and like, they're scared. And Jackie's like, "I'm hungry," and she starts creeping towards the dead pizza boy and the pizza.
Right.
Where Kim checks the body, and it's like, "Is he dead? He's dead, all right. He's cold." And when Jack says,
"Is the pizza cold?"
Is the pizza? And she slides the pizza out from underneath his cold, dead hands and eats it.
She starts eating it.
I kind of like it. I'm sorry.
I did too. And she says, "Life goes on," and starts eating the pizza.
She's something about that makes her hungry, or I don't know. But, oh man.
So the 3 of them hear a noise, which is Jeff trying to get into the back door. He's like kind of clawing at it. He can't really get it. And they start creeping their way to the kitchen, where they see the shadows moving underneath the door.
But they're so close to the door, they go, maybe it's Jeff. And he could just go,
yeah, it's me. It's me, guys. Please. But he doesn't. But they're scared. They're too scared to open it.
No, they want to open it. And at this point, like, what's her name? Trish?
One of them's like, it says it could be Jeff.
Yeah, it could be. They say it could be Neil. And then she's like, it's Jeff. It's Trish's house, right? And Trish is like, it's Jeff. And like, we need to open the door. no. Like, she's the only one that has her wits about her at this point. Like, she does not want, she's not letting anybody in the house. She's like,
she's
fuck
not.
you, you know?
So Russ, he finds Jeff, kills him with the drill. The three girls hear this. This is where they hear the drill going off. Mm-hmm. Now, they take off running. Back to Valerie, who spots Courtney walking over to Trish's house through a window, and she's like, holy shit. And she takes off running after Courtney, and Courtney notices Valerie coming after her, and she ducks into the shadows to hide. Valerie knocks on the door to Trish's house. Jackie rushes to open it, but by the time she gets to it, Valerie's moved away from the door. By the time Jackie gets there to open it, when Jackie flings the door open, she gets slashed across the neck by Russ's power drill, killing her.
Right.
So again, this guy is like
pretty surgical move with the power drill.
Yeah, honestly. Absolutely. He's got it down to it.
I'm sitting there looking at a power drill here, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be something easy to do.
No. This handle is the wrong way. He's got it more this way, so he's like a sword.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be pretty surgical with that.
Mm-hmm.
So, Trish and Kim run up the stairs and barricade themselves into a bedroom.
Right.
And around back, Valerie's trying the back door. Courtney shows up saying, hey, let's just go home. This is dead. And thinking something is off, Valerie sends Courtney home and goes back around to the front door to check things out.
She doesn't actually send her home.
She says, wait here.
Wait here.
Okay.
I'm going to go back up front and check.
Okay. Thank you for clearing that up. I missed that. And so she
thought it was weird.
It is weird.
Like if something, if you don't feel right about something, why wouldn't you send her home?
Just go home.
Wait out in the openness
go
of a
and hang out here
backyard.
by yourself
in our neighbor, like our estranged neighbor's backyard.
Yeah.
Well, it's not strange. It's Trish's house, not content.
Yeah.
So she opens the door. She goes inside, and she's wandering around the dark house, calling out for the girls. Upstairs, Trish and Kim hear Valerie, but again, they're too afraid to open the door.
Well, Kim wants to, and Trish is like, "What? We don't know.
We've already seen the results," and she starts to think that the killer and Valerie are
connected.
Cahoots.
Yeah,
because of Valerie not getting invited to the party or being picked on. She's like, "That's an awfully extreme reaction."
So it's a little fucking overkill, if you ask me.
No,
so
go ahead.
So Valerie exits the house through the back door. Upstairs, Trish and Kim are talking about what to do, and we see Russ climb in through the window behind them.
Which is actually fucked up because the conversation before, like, we're safer here. We saw what happened before. We need to stay right here. Valerie will send help.
Yeah. Even though you just thought she was the one trying to kill you.
So they're safe. They're safe in this room, yet the window is wide the fuck open. You know, they got the door barricaded, but they got the window wide the fuck open.
Exactly.
And here comes Russ in through the window.
Slowly creeps on in.
Yeah, he climbs in through the window and
with his quote unquote power drill.
Yeah. So he creeps up behind them, but a loose floorboard gives him away. So the girls rush to the barricaded door, and then because oh shit, we can't get out this way, so they rush to the corners of the other.
Yeah, they kind of scatter.
Yeah, they scatter to the corners.
And Kim starts chucking things at him.
Yeah, like anything she can get her hands on, she's throwing at this guy.
She's throwing it for
vases and ceramic dolls. It's like anything. Anything. And Ross swipes at Kim with the drill, but misses her. And this allows Trish the opening she needs to hit him over the head with a baseball bat.
Hits him on the base of the skull with a baseball bat.
Knocking him down.
I'm like, what the fuck?
This is where I have a problem with, and this is horror movies in general.
Right.
You hit him in the base of the skull. He falls down, eyes closed, out cold. Keep bashing
him over the fucking head. Yes, I know. Why is she not turning his head into fucking jello on the fucking floor?
Yes.
Obviously, this is the dude that is killing you. You can explain this later.
Exactly.
With the 6 bodies that are in your garage.
He's trying to kill you with the drill. It's kill or be killed. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You have him on the ropes. Take him
Absolutely.
out.
Exactly.
Take him out. And they just go, nope. They turn around.
And they start trying to unblock the door so they can get out. And they manage to get halfway unblocked and halfway open. And Trish starts trying to cram through. But poor Kim, because
again, why are they trying to move? Why are they just flipping them over out of the way?
Right. Exactly. But Kim gets stabbed by Russ. And Trish manages to squeeze through the door and get out. Now we jump back to Valerie, who's walking around the outside looking for Courtney, while Russ is searching the house for Trish, and we hear a storm is heard moving in.
Which, it's California. When does it rain? In
It's
California.
very rare, yeah.
I mean, there's lightning and everything. Like, really?
So Valerie finds Courtney lying in the grass, who again looking like she's dead, but she comes over and nope, she's fine. They're fine. And the two of them at this point, I assume they head back to their house. But we go back to Russ, who's frantically looking for Trish in the closet, and he can't find her, and he turns and leaves. And it turns out Trish was hiding inside a plastic hanging dress bag.
It's like a dust,
it's something like you'd keep your wedding dress or a prom dress in to keep it.
I thought it was pretty good. I thought that was a good hide.
It's interesting, but I don't know how the fuck you would pull that off, because those things are small, they're plastic, you'd be losing air, and how would you fit in there? Because they
was
hang
there a
off
bottom
the
to
ground. Yeah,
them?
unless there's like, if it's no bottom, then you could stand there. That
Right.
I mean, but if it's like, I'm thinking like my suit bags, my traps, they don't have a bottom. There's no way you'd be like, you would just bring the whole closet down.
There are zip-up ones and zip-down ones, and a friend of ours, a mutual friend, Mike Carpenter, when a party got stormed by the police, he hid inside one, and when they left, he unzipped and walked home. Pretty sweet. So it does work, ladies and gentlemen.
It does work. Holy shit.
Shout out to Mike Carpenter.
There you go. That's genius.
Did that really happen? No shit. Nice.
So back at Valerie's,
Let's try, right?
Everyone else just ran. It's like,
Awesome.
So back at Valerie's house, she and her sister, they're in the kitchen talking, and Courtney opens the fridge door, and we see Kim's body inside. And neither Val or Courtney see this because Courtney's looking at Val when she opens the door, and Val's on the other side of the door.
She opens and shuts the fridge.
Oh,
two or three times.
Yeah, this is...
Now,
like, I want to get a beer. No. Come on, I want a beer.
No. Kim's body's coming in, coming out, coming out.
And at this point, I figured out later where I went wrong, but again, I was writing this as I watched it. So my notes at this point was like, can we talk about how the fuck does Ross manage to get Kim's body from Trish's house, upstairs bedroom, to next door in Valerie's fridge?
No, they're in Trish's house.
But it turns out it's in Trish's house.
Yeah.
But it made no sense, because they're like...
It's because you missed the point when they're in the backyard, when
plays dead.
Courtney plays dead. She said, well, let's go lock up the house and get out of here. Why she's locking up somebody else's house and then going home?
Because I thought, I missed that again, because I was like, I heard, let's go back. What I heard was like, let's go back to the house or something like that. So I was like, they went back to their house, not back inside Trish's house, which she just said, this house gives me the creeps and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, why go back in there? Like, I thought they were at Trish's house.
She's
like,
doing
this
her
is
neighborly
insane.
duty, and she's going to lock up her friend's house because they're obviously not home.
Because
yet
I was like,
they were upstairs waiting for Valerie essentially to be killed.
I figured that out about like 5-6 minutes after this note, but at the time I was like, what the fuck? That's bunk. That's whoa. So yeah, it turns out they're still in Trish's house, and
Courtney finally opens the fridge.
Yeah, she tries to get Courtney to come with her. He's like, no, we're leaving. Courtney says, she opens the fridge. She goes back, opens the fridge to grab a beer, and out falls Kim's body with a knife sticking out of her chest. Courtney screams. She runs off. Valerie rushes to the fridge to see what she was screaming at, and she's like, "Oh my god!" And she starts to run, but then she sees, as she makes a run for it, she catches a glance up the stairs, and she sees the shadow of the killer's drill and coming down from upstairs. So again, I don't know how he pulls this off. Like, not even a different house now, but he was upstairs through a window, killed Kim, then drug her downstairs, put her in the fridge, then went back upstairs. But even though we just saw him upstairs looking in the closet for Trish, while Courtney and Valerie were outside, they come inside. They didn't see him drag a body down the stairs or go back up. This is insane.
At this point,
how this would happen.
We need a map on the wall.
Like,
he was here, and then it was here, and then he was there.
With string and push pins wrapping around it.
No, how did he? He's a
So this guy's just a fucking ninja or something.
Yeah.
And Valerie yells at Courtney to run, and then she ducks inside the door to the basement stairwell as Russ comes down the stairs. And Courtney hides underneath the sofa, which I have never seen a sofa have that much clearance where you can actually get a body underneath
Honestly, my grandparents used to have but granted, I was 5. Okay. I used to be able to hide underneath this chair. So it was like it sat tall, but it had like a ruffle around it.
Well, there's like some high back, like wing
so,
back chairs.
To say that, if I was 5, that was 1985, right? So I mean, I guess maybe back in the 80s they had.
The further back in time you go, the more clearance.
I guess
the
so.
furniture got higher.
Yeah.
Back in the 1700s, you needed a ladder to get up on
right.
the sofa.
Yeah. Going back to Little House on the Prairie, I mean, they used to have to like climb up a ladder to get to their bed.
Oh, that's because they had no room. The houses were so damn small. They had to have a loft.
Trying to make the connection with the coach, whatever. Moving on.
So Courtney's seen hiding underneath the sofa as Russ drags the body of the pizza boy across the floor and out of the room. And
this is where he throws him in the basement.
Yeah, that's right. But this is where I was like, wait. I thought they were in Valerie's house. So I'm going to skip this whole note. Yeah. I was totally lost at this point.
Right.
So anyway, he opens his door to the basement, tosses the body down the stairs, which Valerie's like hiding underneath the stairs or something at that point.
Yeah, yes. She sees it.
He then grabs a blanket and lays down on the living room floor for what he looks like he's going to take a nap.
This is so weird. So he throws the body away. He just kind of looks pleased, sits down on the floor, looks fucking crazy-eyed, grabs a brown blanket and just lays down, smiling maniacally, and puts a whole blanket over his entire body.
This is why. Okay. Because going back to where they're eating the pizza, they go to cover that pizza guy with that blanket.
Right, I knew what he was.
But when he pulls the body out, somehow the body is tucked behind the couch.
Yeah, it's not where it was.
So he pulls the body out, throws it, and he's thinking,
"I'm going to pose as the dead
pizza guy."
Okay.
Once I figured out what he was like. Okay, it's not that bad of an idea, really. But you're totally right. Like the body was supposed to be covered up already, but he pulls out from behind the couch.
Behind the couch. How the fuck did the body get behind the couch?
It moved on its own. Apparently,
put it there.
I have no fucking clue. But yeah, I was kind of.
But he did look fucking crazy-eyed, didn't he?
He did. He's
you got the crazy eyes, Aaron.
And he even stuck his hand out because Courtney or whatever's under the couch. She sees his
Courtney watches
hand sticking out. You know, so it's like he's like posing as the pizza guy. Yeah,
and Courtney's watching all this from underneath the couch.
Right.
And upstairs, Trish gets out from the dress bag, and this is where the coach Jana, she shows up now. She's shown up. She enters the house
in a sweet Speedo shirt.
sweet Speedo shirt.
And honestly, she doesn't look much older than.
No, she really doesn't. No, that's the youngest high school.
Yeah, absolutely.
She must be like 25. Yeah.
So she sees the body underneath the blanket. She's like, or something underneath the blanket. She reaches down to pull the blanket back, revealing Russ.
Looking fucking crazy.
Yeah, he gets up. He goes after her with the drill. The coach grabs a fire poker to defend herself with. And at this point in the basement, Valerie's going through all these various tools, looking for a weapon. And she finds a circular saw, and she rushes off.
This is awesome.
And before we go there, because again, I just had to. I know it redeems myself, but I'm writing this as I go. And he says, I'm like, don't those have to be plugged into work? She's not going to get very far with that unless there's a mile-long extension cord. And then my very next note was, oh, thank God the cord does keep her from taking it upstairs. Okay, they did catch that one.
She gets up with this power saw and she gets it going. She's like, and then she just starts running while it's starts running going.
Yeah.
So the whole time she's running with it, it's running. She's like, running. I'm like, she's charging up the stairs with this thing. She's not being stealthy in any way, shape, or form.
She gets to the stairs,
she gets to the door, and then all of a sudden the cord unplugs, and she goes, "Shit!"
No, it doesn't unplug. It's like a short collar. It's like a short collar on a dog. It's like what?
And it yanks back. It pulls her off of her feet, which is insane. That thing.
And she's sitting there looking at it. She's like, "Shit."
How that would just come out from the wall? It would like yank her back.
It did too. I know. It like yanked her right back. She's like, shit.
So we go back to the standoff between Coach Jana and Russ is closing in on her.
She's kind of starting a sword fight with him a little bit.
Yeah, and
she grabs a poker. She grabs a fire poker.
Yeah, and then Courtney reaches out from her hiding spot and trips him.
Yeah, she sticks a foot out, trips him.
Foot? Yeah, foot or hand. Okay, and Janet then starts wailing on him with the fire poker.
And if you notice it, if you watch it close, as she's wailing on this guy. It's obviously a rubber fucking
it's
poker. It's got like a whole lot of give to it. I'm like, really?
So
really?
Trish now, she comes rushing up.
Slow-mo style.
Slow motion.
Slow motion with the
knife.
With the knife. She comes running down the stairs with the knife. She stabs him.
And this is strike 2 for Trish. Okay.
Yeah. And Janet then pulls Trish away. She's like, no, enough. And she shoves her aside as Russ gets up and swipes at her with the drill, slicing the coach across the stomach,
gutting her,
killing her.
Which, no gut. No
intestine. Nothing spills out.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So now Russ is standing over Trish, and this is where it gets real creepy because he's standing over and she's on the floor, and he says to her, quote, that all of you are very pretty. I love you. It takes a lot to love a person to do this. You know you want it. You'll love it. And that's when Valerie comes running up the stairs like a fucking madman with a machete in hand. She swings it at Ross and misses. He runs off. She gives chase.
Oh, God. Here we go.
Outside by the pool, Valerie corners Russ between herself and the pool. And she swings the machete at the drill, and it hits the drill bit, which I think I mentioned before. It's like 2 feet long. And the drill bit breaks in half, and it flies into the pool, sinks in about. I'm like, what?
Right. She has a machete and cuts the drill bit
in half.
More than half. She cuts it down to like a nub.
And if that's all it takes, and this is the shittiest drill bit ever.
Or it's the most enchanted machete.
Absolutely.
It's a magical +1 machete.
Is this Jason Voorhees' machete? I mean, because we said before with that
machete
shit's
from,
made of fucking
Jason X.
Adamantium.
Right. We've talked about this.
Illyrian steel.
This is the most fragile thing ever.
Illyrian steel. All right.
I'd be like, if I was Russ, I'm like, I'm taking this back to Home Depot and demanding a refund.
However, let's move on.
That.
Let's move on with this machete, okay?
All right, so
what does she do next?
She starts hacking away at Ross, and she cuts off one of his hands.
But how many whacks does it take for him to cut off her fucking hand? Okay,
so
she can cut this fucking drill bit in one swipe, but it takes like 3 fucking swipes to cut off his hand.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me right now?
I mean, it had to be a 1 in a billion shot.
I don't believe that one bit. I don't believe that. I mean, if that shit is that sharp to cut through that fucking drill bit, it should have fucking not only cut through his hand, but his entire torso.
Right.
He should have been in 2 pieces.
Just touch him with it.
Right?
Yeah. You're done.
Done.
It's like a fucking lightsaber.
Yes, exactly.
So,
fuck.
Yeah, so she cuts off on his hand, and then she slices him across the stomach. Russ falls into the pool dead, blood flowing out into the water. I mean, just like turning the water red.
So he's been beaten with the fire poker,
beaten with a bat fire poker, stabbed, ham hacked off, and then sliced across the stomach.
Yeah,
right.
And she drops the machete and she hugs Courtney. And now we see Russ climbing out of the pool, and he fucking like leaps. He just like leaps through the air at Valerie and Courtney. And he's like, rah! And he manages to mount Valerie, like UFC, like ground and pound. And he's trying to struggle with her, he's trying to strangle her with his one remaining hand. And Courtney comes rushing, tries to get him off, but he just flings Courtney to the side.
He
Trish,
bitch slaps her.
Yeah, he bitch slaps her.
Whack! You hear it.
Trish comes charging out of the house, holding the knife again. Knocks Russ off of Valerie.
She stabs him. I think.
Again, he leaps at her through there going, Rah! But this time, Valerie grabs the machete. She holds it out, and he falls on top of Valerie, getting impaled by the machete as he falls. Trish and Courtney scream as Russ dies on top of Valerie.
A lot of, screaming and crying by the women.
She rolls him. She rolls him off of her. Valerie rolls him off. And at this point, the camera goes from girl to girl, showing each girl crying or screaming or whatever as we hear sirens in the distance.
Dude, Courtney's got a look on her face like, fuck.
Yeah. She's the only one not crying.
She's got a bloody nose.
She's like disturbed.
Yeah.
She looked disturbed.
She's got some serious counseling after this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So and then after that, so sirens are heard, roll credits.
Finally, the fucking police show up.
Yeah,
I'm
finally
like,
they show up.
Right?
So that is the original Slumber Party Massacre.
Good Lord, that was a ride.
It is. So that brings us to favorite kill.
Don't act like you didn't love it. Favorite kill.
All right, so there was a good amount of body count in this movie this week.
Pretty high body count, yeah.
Pretty high.
I counted 11.
Yeah. So, yeah.
What'd you count?
My count, let's see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So, there we go.
Right on.
11 to choose from.
For those of you listening, Marshall has every kill, documented on a piece of paper.
Every week.
Yeah, every
kill sheet.
Week's kill sheet.
Marshall takes extensive
serious notes.
He's dedicated to his act, my friends.
So yeah, Chris, what we got? What we got your favorite kill?
Aaron, go first.
All right, so my favorite kill was actually the non-drill kill when he gets into a scuffle with Neil. Now, to Neil's credit, I mean, he's a pretty skinny kid. He's scared to death. He tries to fight off Russ. He jumps on him. They struggle. He's trying, but Russ gets the upper hand, and he starts stabbing. And when he's coming down with that knife, he's fucking meaning. It's like, wow, wow, wow. You know, he's stabbing down, and you see the point of view of Russ, and it cuts from, the side angle to point of view of Russ, the knife coming down, Neil screaming, blood flying everywhere. That was my favorite kill.
All right.
Nice. I will say that was Sarah's favorite kill, too.
All right. Good deal.
Yeah. I gotta go with the non-kill kill. The pizza guy.
Pizza guy. Oh, okay.
I don't know. You didn't see him get killed.
It's still a kill.
But I love the open the door, eyes drilled out, the falling forward.
Still holding the pizza.
I fucking love it.
Professional to the end.
Yeah, right? I
would hate to die with that stupid fucking paper
hat on.
Steak and shake like that.
I feel like such an asshole.
I know.
Just wish I didn't die wearing this.
But it was awesome. It's like 6 so far. Open up the door and I don't know, man. I loved it.
No, it's a good reveal. I was gonna say it's a good reveal. To me, none of them really stood out that, different for me for me this week. But I'm going to kind of go along the lines of you. I'm going to go with one that was technically didn't have it on screen, but we saw the results. And I'm going to go with Diana's boyfriend whose head comes off in the car.
Yeah, that was a good one too.
So because she just goes in she goes in to kiss him on the cheek and the head just falls off.
I mean, if he had had longer hair, he would have totally looked like fucking the dude kid from Mask.
He didn't look like he had elephantitis. He was just an ugly guy.
But he was squared faced.
I don't know. Rocky, wasn't it? Rocky something?
He was Rocky in the movie, yeah.
In the movie.
Okay, there you go.
Mask, yeah.
So there you go. There's favorite kills for this week. Moving on to odds and ends.
Not only did they watch these films, they researched them too. Ugh, what is wrong with these guys?
Starting off with ratings, IMDb gives it a 5.7 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes, it has a 36% on the tomato meter with a 45% audience score.
Wow.
And Amazon gives it it's rated as a 4.1 out of 5 on Amazon. So most time Amazon's the highest, but obviously that's the higher of the ratings for this week. I was kind of expecting, after watching it, I was expecting worse going into it, but after watching it, I was a little surprised at how low some of the ratings were.
Yeah, absolutely.
So moving on to the plot keywords. Now, we're going to do something a little different this week for you guys at home. There were 111 plot keywords written down for this. And I thought, kind of like we do with the budget game, I thought maybe we would do like a little Family Feud style game here where Aaron and Chris will try to guess what plot keywords were listed for this movie. And we'll see just kind of who can guess the most, in a short amount of time. We're not going to take too long with this. And
so
then,
do we take turns?
Or do
we do it at the same time?
No, I need to be able to hear you keep track, so you'll take turns.
All right. How long do we have? 1 minute or 30 seconds? Or
I'm just gonna. Chris, you'll start, and I'll keep track of the time, and I'll even tally up the score and see who.
So how much time do we have?
I'm gonna try to keep it you need it
30 seconds or.
I'm gonna do my best at a minute.
111. All right.
But we're gonna see how this goes. It's the first time we're here, so
ready.
All right, 1, 2, and go.
Boobs.
I will accept the female frontal nudity. Yes.
Ding ding ding.
Ding ding ding. Aaron.
Oh, drill.
Drill. Yes, drill is definitely one.
Pizza.
Pizza is on here. There you go, Chris. All right, Aaron.
80s bush.
Ooh, no. No.
Knife.
Knife. Knife is on here. Chris got 3. Aaron.
Doll.
Doll. No doll. Chris.
Creepy neighbor.
Creepy neighbor. You know what? Creepy neighbor is not, but neighbor is, so I will give you that.
All right, hey.
Neighbor is on here. Aaron.
Beer.
Beer is not on the list. Aaron, you are really bad at this.
Yeah.
So, Chris, you want to take one more guess at this?
Showers.
Let's see. Shower. And we have a shower room, so I will give you credit.
Get the gimmies.
All right, so we'll stop. That was a minute. We could have kept going, but that was 1 minute.
I was getting slaughtered.
You got destroyed. You got destroyed, Aaron.
Damn, out of 111, what, we got 6?
I think I might got 5 for you, 1 for Aaron, so yeah, got 6.
Damn.
5 for me.
All right, well, hey. Man, so I know who I want on my Family Feud team. And I know who you don't want.
I will give
80s Bush. It wasn't even Bush. Damn it.
1980 was a cute word, though, not 80s Bush, but 1980. Here's the ones that I wrote down before I did any of this. That I just thought were
the fun ones.
The fun ones. Drill in the head. 4-word title, which is fucking weird.
Why didn't I guess that?
Yeah, right.
Reference to Brooke Shields.
There was a reference.
There was, yeah.
Lens flare.
What? Lens flare?
Lens flare. It's like where the light bounces off the lens. Reference to Larry Bird.
There was a reference to Larry Bird.
And Playgirl magazine.
I'm surprised I didn't think of that one. That one I should have done, yeah. Sylvester Stallone.
So
there's a lot that happened in this movie.
Well, last thing. Let's just throw out our own keyword for the movie. My keyword is going to be snail murder. So that's my keyword for this movie. Snail murder.
Good. Let me see. Probably paper hat.
Paper hat.
Yeah.
Paper hat. Maui Wowie.
Maui Wowie.
Yeah. Well, that's what you bring to the party.
Wait, was it in there?
Actually, no, marijuana joint was not Maui Wowie. All right, there you go. All right, moving on to the trivia, and there was some decent trivia for this. I found out some interesting facts here. So again, some of these I can't 100% confirm or that they're true, but that's what I found. So the author Rita Mae Brown wrote a screenplay for a parody of a teen slash slasher flick entitled it Sleepless Nights. However, when she submitted it to the producers, they filmed it as if it weren't a parody and retitled it Slumber Party Massacre. As a result, the movie displays a lot more humor, both intended and unintended, than others in the genre, because supposedly that it was... the entire score was done on a Casio synthesizer.
And you could fucking
tell.
Does not
you can tell,
one
but
bit.
I thought they did pretty good, man. I don't know.
I've heard worse. But I mean, it's the 80s. Everything was on a goddamn synthesizer.
This is something I forgot to mention, and now when we talk about it, I'm glad that we're bringing it up, is that it actually is, it's kind of making it sound... The Casio keyboard effects could have been cool, could have been better. It weren't horrible, but there are times when it almost sounded like it should have been in like a spooky castle. Like...
Right.
And like a spooky castle.
Well, the opening music score is like very they push the organ button.
Yeah. Like it was a little out of place. If they just did more Casio keyboard, like
you're thinking more like Dracula style.
Yeah, it was much more Dracula.
Going along with the way that the film itself looked,
very grainy and
very grainy, very.
Well, I guess it's 82, so
exactly.
But it looked good for. I mean,
what I wanted more of was a little bit of more like who is that? It's not Chubby Checker. Jesus Christ, I'm gonna kill myself.
Chubby Checker.
You know,
he was a guitar player, dude.
Anybody?
I'm thinking. That's really an 80s thing.
Are you thinking like the Beverly Hills Cop theme?
Yeah.
No.
That's what it sounded like to me.
Yeah. Herbie Hancock.
Herbie Hancock.
That not Chubby Checker. Herbie Hancock.
Herbie Hancock.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Michael Viella, who played the killer, says deliberately avoided talking to the other cast members during the shooting of the picture, which is not an uncommon thing in horror movies. I think Kane Hodder's done that a lot when his roles with Jason and other stuff.
Professionals.
Aaron Lipstadt, who was the pizza boy who got killed.
Right.
He directed a movie called Android, also 1982.
Oh, wow.
Android was produced by Roger Corman, who would also produce Hollywood Boulevard in 1976, which was the film Valerie was watching at her house. So
that's
there's
what
a
I
weird,
was
like,
wondering.
6 Degrees
Yeah,
type movie. Right
I was
there.
wondering if that was intertwined somehow.
Yeah. Andrea, Honor, I don't know. One of the girls is the only cast member featured on the original theatrical one-sheet poster. The blonde woman lying on the floor is Jillian Kastner, who isn't in the film. So, which we saw that with Splatter University, where the girl on the poster wasn't in the film at all.
That's weird.
Director Amy Holden Jones shot a promo film of the original script's prologue for $1,000 so she could get a directing job from Roger Corman. Corman was so impressed by the promo that he asked Jones to make the feature-length movie from the script. So there you go. The big conclusion, the backyard with the swimming pool was added in the movie as a reshoot. So I'm very curious what the original ending was then.
Yeah. Right, yeah, me too.
In the background, when Kim is hurling ornaments at the killer in Trish's bedroom, you can see the book Ruby Fruit Jungle, which was also written by Rita Mae Brown, the film's writer.
That was the first thing I saw. Ruby Fruit Jungle.
Yeah, right.
Like, oh, shit, yeah. Jesus.
So, again, Michael Villa read the book Helter Skelter in order to research his role for this. He also originally read for the role of David Content, the neighbor.
Okay.
Yeah. Was it Content? Was I right about
Content?
that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Content. Contant.
Hi, Mr. Content.
The original first draft of the script was called "Don't Open the Door." Michael Villa based his physical body movements as Russ Thorne on a peacock, supposedly, which that's just weird. I didn't really get that at all. I don't see that.
Peacock is very strutting.
Yeah.
I mean, people talk about
peacocking. You're peacocking and all that.
Like a peacock. Yeah. I mean, it's very proud, chest out.
I didn't see that in him.
I didn't see that at all.
No.
Yeah.
And then Brink Stevens, this was her first big speaking role in a film, even though she's Linda. She's like
Linda.
She's the second girl to die.
Yeah. But apparently she goes on to be like one of the
like 156
queens,
horror movies, and then the most recent UK DVD release is out of print, and it's really hard to find over in the UK. So there's our trivia, and that brings us to the favorite game show everybody loves. We're gonna play the budget game.
Time for Aaron to blow his wad with the budget game.
All right, budget game. What do you think is the budget for this movie? Chris, you go first.
Oh, Jesus. Well, man, there was no real effects. This is 1982.
82.
All right, so blood splatter, which could have been ketchup. I doubt it was ketchup, but maybe more like Kool-Aid. Shit. $350,000.
$350 from Chris. Okay, Aaron, what is your guess?
Cool million.
Cool million.
Really, $1 million in 1980? No way.
Well, Aaron, guess what? You blew your wad again.
God damn it.
Chris, you win the estimated budget, $250,000.
Jesus Christ.
$250,000?
$250,000.
Seriously?
Yep, you were really close.
Damn it. Damn it. Now I'm pissed because I was that close. There is no way.
I'm sitting here stewing in my fucking shorts here.
Dude,
I'm so mad.
The filming was obviously granular. It was like not even that great.
But the problem is the last like 5
There's no way. Seriously?
I've undershot by a ton, and now I'm like,
well, but
okay,
damn, dude, $1 million in 1982. How much would $1 million be in 1982?
Right? I don't know.
There is
250,000.
There is
That's
no
how much it
way,
would be.
No way. Dude.
Right.
So I'm just.
There was no stars in this movie. There was no nothing.
All right, Chris, I suck. I get it.
Yo, titty.
Aaron titty. All right, Chris trying to give Aaron a titty twister.
Right.
Let's move on to 5-star reviews.
These special movies have a place in these special people's hearts. 5-star reviews.
Now, there were, I think, 6 or 7 pages of 5-star reviews I found on Amazon. I wrote down a few of them. Let's go. From reviewer named Slave. Movie review. A woman directed this one. That's in all caps and bold. Wow, she did a great job. Okay. Yes, this is your typical everyday slasher movie, but it's a really great one. The naked chicks are hot. Also bold and capitalized. Their boobs and butts are well groomed and
well groomed
and stuff. The story is moronic. The acting is lousy. The kills are fantastic and it's actually well directed. I love this movie. 5 stars.
The butts and boobs are
well groomed.
Groomed.
That's a very weird choice.
Yeah, I think it says and stuff.
Is that a 14-year-old boy?
I don't know.
Yeah, probably jerked off to this movie like 5 times.
Come on, we're in our mid-30s. We're probably thinking the same thing, except we use better vocabulary than groomed.
Okay,
yeah, so nice boobs, nice butts, good kills.
All right, so from Ryan. Here is a terrific flick in my collection. I only review what I own that I wanted to review, so let's get down to it. Trish Devereaux invites her basketball teammates over for a house for a summer party, won't even blah, blah, blah. The party is crashed by Neil and Jeff, 2 horny 17-year-olds, blah, blah, blah. However, as Lewis knows, the mass murderer Russ Thorne has escaped from a mental institution and decided to crash her party as well with his oversized crotch-like drill. You know what I mean. Like, what a total creep, for sure. Sorry, I had to use my 80s lingo. Well, their only hope for getting out alive was going across the street to Laughing Stock. I don't know what the fuck that means. Teammate Valerie's house. She denied the invite and she heard some girls teasing her, blah, blah, blah. Each thing is some of them started to die quickly and they don't get out alive, blah, blah, blah. The week is going to be a total bummer. Here I go again. Needless to say, Slumber Party Massacre is a fantastic film. The idea of using a portable drill is great, and the fact that the killer actually talks is a breath of fresh air from the quiet, stalking, killing murderer. Filled with enough humor to fill a whole nother movie. SPM rocks, pure and simple, it rocks. Valerie, maybe a joke to some, but it's her who has to save the girls. Recommended to fans of Halloween, The Fool Killer, and Party Crasher.
I will say, you're talking about a phallic drill?
Yeah.
That scene where he kills Diane.
Yeah.
The shadow
is standing over her.
And it's pointing straight down.
The shots coming out between his legs from his back.
Right.
His drill's hanging down like a big old
skinny thong.
Yeah, right. That was pretty cool. And she's like looking up like, ah.
All right. From Jay Thomas. Some people need to lighten up. If you view this film expecting Schindler's List, well, you are the stupid one. It is what it is. And what is it? Only one of the most entertaining slashers ever. A wink here, a nod there, a gaff everywhere. Mixing purposely exaggerated shots of breasts and male stupidity with a genuine sense of suspense and set-piercing violence. This review is really a reaction to some of the one-star raters out there. You can guess the whole plot by the title, but the rationale of you half-wits who rate it so low should also be able to see that the translucence is quite on purpose. There are people who will never understand irony, cosmic or otherwise. 5 stars.
He's got a point.
He's got a point. I can't argue that. From a customer, I bought this movie fully expecting nothing but TNA and maybe a little gore. It delivered on those 2 expectations. 5 stars.
He's got a point.
He's got a point there.
He's got a point.
All right, coming down to the end. From Ben Wasden. I know it's hard for all you whippersnappers to believe, but I was once a teenage boy, and like most teenage boys, I had a fair share of slumber parties. I would call Greg, Peter, and Bobby, and they would come over, and we'd have pillow fights and play spin the bottle, but nothing that took place out at our slumber parties was as fun as what's contained in Slumber Party Massacre. I kid you not when I say the Slumber Party Massacre movies changed my life.
I hope.
Before I started viewing them, my life was full of despair. Now that I've watched the Slumber Party Massacre collection, I'm as happy as a clam. Thank you, Slumber Party Massacre Collection. Thank you from the bottom of my slasher movie loving heart. 5 stars.
You're filled with despair because you're playing Spin the Bottle with a bunch of boys.
Exactly.
Greg, Peter, and Bobby.
Yeah,
right?
Greg, Peter, and Bobby.
He's with the Brady Bunch. He's up in the boys' room fucking playing Spin the Bottle. What the fuck is he doing?
Exactly.
Go to Marsha, Jan, and Brady. Or, you know what I mean? Whatever name.
All right, there's two short ones left. Tim Virhen Jr. Vihen? I don't know. Wow, what a horror movie. Basically, girls and guys are getting killed by the serial killer. Great gore scenes. There actually is some suspense. If you are into seeing girls topless, I'm not for private reasons, LOL, then you would also enjoy this DVD. 5 stars.
He was playing Spin the Bottle with other boys.
Right,
he was at that party,
up there.
party.
Yeah. Okay.
And the last
which
one
is fine.
It's fine.
Yeah.
That's your thing.
Go ahead.
And the last one from reviewer's name is Dick Mouth. Oh, I'm sorry, Dick Math. Dick Math. Dick Math. This is the only thing that can really get me going if you catch my drift. 5 stars.
Dick Math.
Dick Math. Apparently can only get off on girls getting killed with a drill, or I don't know what.
Shower scenes and murder.
Yeah, I don't know.
Dick Math.
Dick Math.
Dick Math.
So
I like that name.
Dick Math. So let's start wrapping up. That is Slumber Party Massacre. Final thoughts. Chris, take us away.
Damn. I don't know where to go after Dick Math. I actually loved every last second of this movie. I'm sorry to say that. I love the grainy, the old feel to the 80s
Grindhouse
movies.
feel.
I do, yeah, absolutely. I love the Casio keyboard. I really did. I felt like they did a good job with the music building to the suspense. There was an awful lot of suspenseful. I love these fake kill things, as you guys say, or these
false scares.
False scares. I loved them. And then the comedy that came along with them. The kills were good too. I don't know, man. I gotta say,
don't be ashamed of it.
Don't be ashamed.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I enjoyed every last second of this.
All right, so bad it's good.
So bad it's good.
Aaron?
Yeah. It's funny because I had more fun reviewing the movie than actually watching it, I think. Watching it was... I don't know if I was.
Did you only watch it
more.
once?
Yes, I did watch it once. Yeah, but at the end of the day, so bad it's meh. Yeah, I guess I'm going to go so bad it's good. Talking about it again, reviewing it, and just talking about certain aspects of the movie made me think different perspectives. Made me go, yeah, that's right. So I'm gonna. It just squeaks into my so bad it's good.
Okay,
just squeaks in.
Just squeaks in there. We're gonna clean sweep it this week. I'm gonna say so bad it's good. Again, for a lot of the reasons Chris said, so I'm not really gonna say them again. But I agree. I was expecting a lot worse going into it than what I got. And again, for 1982 standards, it was some good stuff to it. I found it an enjoyable watch. Yeah. And I would recommend. Now I can't say like maybe we'll get around to doing number 2 and number 3 in the future.
Now you may get into a gray area, or a black area.
Make it better. Who knows?
Yeah, it depends. Now for us, they might get way better. They might get shittier. Right, they might get, but so all three of us say so bad it's good. It's worth a watch. You can find it on YouTube for free. That's gonna wrap us up for this week. Reminder again, come check out the St. Louis Contamination Horror and Sci-Fi Convention, June 17th, 18th, and 19th. We'll be there. You can follow us on Facebook. You can check out our website, horriblehorrorpodcast.com. We're also on Twitter at So Bad It's Scary, on Instagram at Horrible Horror Podcast, and then you can download and listen to the podcast on horriblehorror.podbean.com, and of course the all awesome Get Everything You Want there, iTunes, where you can, if you're feeling friendly, go ahead and subscribe to us and give us 5 stars and be a pal. And that's going to wrap us up. So any closing words? Anybody? Closing words for the Moongoons?
In the words of Bolo Yang, you are next.
Those are great closing words. Bolo. All right. All right. We're out, Moongoons.
Thanks.
See you later.